Hi, Dan Jenkins here, Mr. J Gaming on Twitch. I'm here just to give you a quick run through of the current project I'm working on. Current name HipToBeSquare. Not sure if that'll stick due to the kind of copyright thing of the song from the 80s, but regardless, it's an endless kind of runner style game with three lovable characters and the slight twist on the mechanics in that you're switching characters during gameplay. So I'm going to introduce you to three characters and then we'll have a look at how the gameplay comes together towards the end. So we'll start off with Joe. So Joe is the first character, and like all endless runners, you kind of, it's constantly moving for you, and you need to be able to jump to avoid obstacles. So we can do little hops, like so, to get through smaller areas, and then we can click and hold, and we get a higher jump, right? What's a new mechanic maybe, which isn't in other games at the moment as well, is we have what I call the focus, which is your ability to slow down time so you can focus and time these jumps perfectly. So if I hold down the focus button, it allows me to kind of half the speed of time, which allows me to get that tricky bit sorted without any hassle really. That does use your focus bar at the top, so you can collect these gems to replenish it. And then at the bottom you can see this end level progress. That goes up as you collect coins and generally as you make progress through the level through running. So once you've spawned, once you've got enough coins and enough points, it spawns the exit and you're ready to move on to the next level. So once you've done a tutorial for a character, we then have a randomly generated mode for that character. So this map is randomly generated based on a certain amount of platforms that I've given it, which are suitable for this character. And it will go on generating this content until you have got that yellow bar all the way to the top to spawn the exit. Okay, so that's just a quick idea of how this will work. I would let you watch me finish, but I fell. So we're just going to go back to the menu and then I'll show you the next character. So our next character is YT. So YT, once again, he has four sides. He's kind of like a rectangle, but he's a tall guy and he can jump. He can jump a lot higher than Joe. So you can see through jumping and holding, you go a lot higher. Now, because he's a thinner guy, he's a lot lighter, and these green blocks underneath him there, they would fall through if you were on any other character. So his advantage is his weight as well, that he's light. He can also get through these narrow gaps, which the other characters won't be able to. Though he still can use his focus ability to get through those kind of tricky areas where timing's a bit more critical. Now, the blue buff allows you to constantly use your focus without having to use the resource at the top, but only for a short duration. So you get introduced to a new buff through doing that bit. And then finally, you get introduced to the green buff, which will double the rate of points that you acquire as you run through the game. So we can see that it's going up twice as fast now. Once we get to the top, the level exit will spawn, and huzzah, we are able to exit the level. Thank you very much. Cool. So then Whitey will also have a similar level in the sense that this is now a randomly generated level based on platforms that suit this character. Okay, so so far so good. And in the same sense, we would keep going through this until we mess up or until we get to the end. Cool. So let's introduce you to the third character. The third character, be my favorite, be Chunk. So with Chunk, no one knows how he got his name apparently, but as soon as you start playing him, you start to realize actually you cannot jump very far and you fall very fast. He's very heavy, you could say, but due to that excess weight, it also means that he can push heavy obstacles out the way that the other characters couldn't. It also means these red blocks by here, if I was to jump on them, they push out. And that can be dangerous, but it also is vital for some of the platforms I've made in order for you not to run into some spikes, for example. So you want to avoid those redder blocks. Now he can still concentrate and slow down time with his focus, but also his fatness, you could say, allows him to fall quicker and get through certain obstacles that others couldn't. The others would float into the spikes there as they ran faster. So on occasion, you also need to use your head. So by here, if we were not to jump on this platform, then we would have resulted in not making that jump because he's such a stocky little man. And then finally, there's a trap mechanic. If you step on it, it will spawn spikes. We'll see if I clear this. I cleared it, so we didn't have any spikes come up and kill it. That's a good thing, really. Chunk then gets trolled by the level exit, unfortunately. But we're kind enough to spawn him another one that he can reach, so he can get onto his endless mode. And as you start to see, like the other levels, we have a randomly generated kind of level for him, which is going to be governed by you getting to the end of the points progress. There's going to be traps here for him. There's not spikes on his level because he can't clear spikes because he's so fat. See? So it's a bit harsh for us to include spikes. But yeah, I'm deliberating whether we should allow Chunk to destroy spikes, but that's something for a debate another day. So the final mode then, which is the main mode of the game, in my opinion, then would be the mix mode. So if I was to take you to the, oh, I paused it somehow. Okay, if I am to take you to the mixed tutorial, and this is one of the hardest tutorials on the game, so I doubt I'll finish it. It'll give you an idea. But now you can see different color platforms. We now have an interface to switch between characters, or we use 1, 2, and 3 on the PC, and we can now switch between the characters actively. So I can fall down quickly, switch into Chunk, for example. If I want to jump far, I can turn to Joe. If I want to jump high, I turn to Whitey. And I see there's a gap ahead, I'll turn back to Joe. And then I'm seeing that there's something I need to fall through. So I switch to Chunk and smash through it. Now there's a smaller gap which will benefit from Joe's average size and average jump height. So I'm going to switch to him, get through the gap. You still need to maybe make the most of the ability to focus to get through these tricky areas. And keep in mind that Chunk cannot jump over these spikes. However, Chunk does allow us to fall down here quickly. And then there's a jumping puzzle even for the fattest man of all, being Chunk. So if you try doing this with another hero, you will not be able to do it. But as you see, I can't do it either. So you get the idea. It's not the easiest tutorial, but once you've done that, we'll go to the endless mode. Well, not the endless, the randomly generated mode of that. Um, I managed to stop it again. I apologize. So if we go to the mix level now. Oh, have I managed to break my mix level? Okay. Let me just go back and show you this quickly then. Apologies. So if I want to get my mix level running directly, and then we'll get this full screen for us. Okay, cool. So on this level then, this is going to be the randomly generated mode. So it'll be, once again, we can switch characters, but it's just going to choose random platforms from all of the different characters, all the different kind of platform sets from all of the different characters. Okay, so at the moment you can see I'm doing very badly, but we will play this a bit just to get an idea of the benefits of the different characters. So when you need our Chunk here to push through these blocks, we probably need Whitey to do a high but not too far jump. We need to fall down quickly there with Chunk. We need to get through a narrow gap here. Turn to Chunk so I don't fall through a gap. Jump with Joe. I messed it up. But you can see how the combos are starting to come together, right? We'll have one more go and we will see if we get any further. So we turn to a narrow, we need to jump over there, jump up, we need to get through a narrow gap again, turn back to Joe, get through this gap, fall through with Chunk. Hopefully we'll see how far. Joe's quite good, he's fast, he's a good one to stairs normally, but he's not going to make this jump, so you got to switch quickly. By here, if I was any other character other than Whitey, these would be falling through. Whitey's quite good consistently, but he's a bit slow as well. Chunks needed to get through there, but I messed up the timing. But regardless, I hope you've had a good idea about what this game is about. It is kind of endless runner style. There's no endless mode in it at the moment, but the sense of you continually running without much choice about it. But hopefully the character switch and the slight charm of the the four-sided characters is something that's going to make it enjoyable for people to play. So thank you for taking the time to check out my game. It's Mr. J Gaming on Twitch. Thank you.